Going live in 3, 2, 1. BCIT, television and video production. You've got potential.
Welcome back to BCIT Magazine. Conservative candidate Andrew Saxton may have lost to the Liberals in the North Vancouver riding, but he says voters didn't know enough about their plans to go green. My co-anchor Tiana Mohebi has more.
The Tower of Power falling.
Conservative voters were disappointed when North Van candidate Andrew Saxton lost the election.
Well, obviously it's disappointing. We expected to do much better. In fact, our door knocking, showed us that we had a very good chance of winning back North Vancouver.
Saxton believes 90% of Canadians vote for the National Party leader instead of local candidates.
All right. This was the best campaign we've ever run, and I'm convinced that we got 100% of our 10%. So, I wouldn't really change much at the local level.
So what about the national level?
Let's get the job done.
Saxton says he did his part, but claims the national campaign could have been more vocal about their plans to tackle climate change.
Even on the doorsteps, I was hearing, where is your plan? So I would, at every doorstep, explain the climate plan, and then people would start to understand it and accept it and like it. But we needed to do that on a national level. We needed to get that message out.
And Saxton might just have a point. Turns out many Canadians don't think of the environment when they think of the Conservative Party.
They didn't seem to really have much of an interest in climate change as much as definitely the other parties.
They didn't really care about climate change, and that the Conservatives more so focused on the economy of Canada.
Climate is never Conservatives' priorities. They are more focused on economy.
Despite his loss, Saxton still has hope for a Conservative future.
Normally, minority governments last 18 months on average in Canada, so we could be at this again within 18 months.
Tiana Mohebi in North Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
The Green Party is celebrating an increase in the number of votes they received this election. They credit young Canadians who are passionate about the environment. Nikhil Velji explains why.
People are gathered here to voice their support towards local Green candidate Bridget Burns.
I care deeply about the environment and my community, and so I wanted to see some, fresh change here in Van East.
Although she didn't win her riding, Burns has been committed to living up to the Green Party's name.
So we did cardboard lawn signs, so we were the only ones, and people doubted us because we weren't using single-use plastic. Upcycled shirts, so we went and thrifted a bunch of shirts and then silk screened.
Under Burns' leadership, the Greens in East Vancouver have seen a 2,000 vote rise from 2015. She attributes some of these votes to the young people standing up with the climate strikes.
The youth in Canada and across the globe are super inspiring and really pushing climate into, making politicians talk about it, making media talk about it, making all of us talk about it, and that's great and super inspiring.
Burns says changing the voting age from 18 to 16 is a big part of the Greens' platform. BCIT students weighed in on the issue.
Given that other laws, such as the legal age of consent is 16, I feel like maybe voting should be at the age of 16 as well.
But I feel like when it comes to someone being still in high school and everything else, I feel like they're not really mature enough to understand all the repercussions.
Burns adds another issue ailing the Green Party is a lack of proportional representation.
We need proportional representation, and we know Greens would have that if that was the case. Our voice would be so much stronger.
Burns says momentum is on their side and adds there's never been a better time to go green. Nikhil Velji in East Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
Our reporter Nikhil Velji joins us now. Nikhil, why is proportional representation so important to the Green Party?
Well, Tiana, the Greens amassed 6% of the popular vote, but only ended up with 3 seats. With proportional representation, they would have had 20 seats and a much larger voice in Canadian government.
And Nikhil, how did the Greens fare in student votes?
With the student votes, the Green Party exploded with 18% of the total votes. But that was just a major rise from the 6% they had in this year's federal election. So moving forward, the Green Party may just be the party of the future. Back to you.
Thanks, Nikhil. Climate activist Greta Thunberg will be in Vancouver Friday to attend a climate strike at the Vancouver Art Gallery. Activists are expected to gather at 11 a.m. and march 3 kilometers throughout downtown.
Millennials formed the largest group of voters for the first time in a federal election. Our reporter Michelle Dillon spoke to students at BCIT to find out what they're voting for.
BCIT marketing student Jenny Murad thinks that young people are getting more interested in politics.
I think people are quick to vote us out, count us out, and I think that's not what's happening this time. I think people are, millennials especially, are showing up.
Predicting the turnout is challenging, but an Abacus data survey suggests that millennials had a chance of impacting the outcome.
My friends are going to vote, and a lot of them have voted in the advanced polls.
Well, I know all my friends are basically like voting and everything, so I feel like I should be obligated to vote.
So it seems like millennials were tuning into this year's election, but there were also other things that made them want to tune out.
I think this election has been a bit dirty.
Justin Trudeau stood right here on this very spot and lied to Canadians.
I want to kind of see a change where whoever gets elected kind of stops kind of doing that, like false promises.
I think we've seen throughout this campaign that the Conservatives have had to use the politics of fear and division and indeed just make stuff up.
Most leaders are a little iffy and you can't really follow their platform very often because you don't know if they can make the promises that you want.
Jenny agrees that the campaigns should have been less negative.
And I understand the reason behind these big, this person versus this person. That being said, I would have hoped for better for our elections. At the end of the day, I think we can all agree that we just want Canada to be a safe and welcoming and overall kind place to live.
Michelle DeLeon in Burnaby for BCIT Magazine.
Coming up, there's a new cybersecurity program coming to BCIT.
And a local attraction wants to scare you for a good cause.
I chose BCIT because I know that all the programs are very hands-on. We have our own radio station, like it's one of the best programs that I've ever heard of.
I am starting a job on Monday, so confidence is high.
Honestly, I didn't think it was going to be this fun.
Welcome back. With October being Cyber Awareness Month, BCIT held an event to show off a new cybersecurity program. Reporter Dylan Grant has more.
We know cyber risks are on the increase.
The new B Cyber Aware program at BCIT is showing off how to spot a phishing email. 99% of the attacks are caused by users clicking on links. Here is an email that appears to be from Microsoft Office, letting you know you aren't receiving mail and to click on the link to fix the issue. Some of the telltale signs are that it didn't come from a Microsoft Office account, and it wasn't personalized.
No one is immune. We have businesses that are Fortune 500 companies that have been breached.
Here's what some students had to say about receiving a phishing email.
Last month I just got a mail and it was saying that it was from Google, and it was saying that if you will click this link and you will get some like $50 money.
They open the link, they ask for some account number. When we enter the account number, they just get our all account access and they just grab our money.
Oh yeah, lots of times. Has it successfully happened? No.
Here are 5 key features to pay attention to in phishing emails. If it sounds too good to be true, having a sense of urgency, using hyperlinks, odd attachments, and unusual senders. You can protect yourself by hovering over the link, looking for spelling mistakes, incorrect grammar, and never disclose your personal information.
First 6 months in 2019 alone, we've had 4.1 billion records globally breached.
The last BCIT Cybersecurity workshop will be next Monday. Dylan Grant from Burnaby for BCIT Magazine.
Joining us now to talk more about cyber safety is Erin Hunter with BCIT School of Computing. Thank you for being here, Erin.
Thanks.
Erin, what can students do to become more cyber aware?
Well, it's important to I guess, follow the news when there's big new attacks people are talking about. You want to be aware what the new scam is. And we actually have a test on the Cyber Aware website at BCIT where you can go through a quiz just to test your basic knowledge to see where you might need to learn more.
That's good to know. And what are some of the biggest misconceptions when it comes to cyber attackers?
Yeah, I think people picture cyber attackers as sort of computer geniuses breaking into your computer against your will. When in fact, most of the attacks are human error. So they ask you for information and you just give it. So it's just an email or a website that really isn't sophisticated technically.
And so what can you do to protect yourself?
Yeah, so you always have to be careful when you're online. Worry about where you're clicking. So don't click on links in emails to you. Don't click on ads for companies you've never heard of. Just think about who's getting your information and if you want them to have it.
Absolutely. And if it does come to that stage of being scammed, what should you do?
So yeah, you can scan your computer for any kind of malicious software on it. But the big thing is when somebody gets your information from one system, they're probably going to try to use your password somewhere else. So you need to change any important banking passwords or things like that right away.
That makes sense. And BCIT specifically, what are they doing to help out with this issue?
So as a big organization, we already let students, you can back up all of your information, you can store on our secure servers, and we are trying in the new Don't Be a Sucker, Be Cyber Aware campaign to provide a lot of new information to students to help out.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thanks for joining us, Erin. With Halloween just a week away, we sent our 2 producers out to find out what you can do over the weekend.
Welcome to BCIT Community Calendar. I'm Kristy, Schiewe.
And I'm Grayson, Rudzki.
Vancouver has something for everyone this Halloween season. Spooks,
laughs,
tears,
screams,
booze.
You name it, we got it.
Let's carve out some fun. Go big or go at home at the Vancouver Community Arts Centre. They will be hosting a pumpkin carving contest with tools and stencils so that your pumpkin doesn't look like that.
What? Come on. This pumpkin's gorgeous. I gotta run this off. Kristy Schiewe doesn't know anything about pumpkin carving. Luckily, I've got the Hallows Eve Run. It showcases some of North Vancouver's most gruesome trails.
They offer 10-kilometer, half marathon, and full marathon runs. There's nothing scarier than cardio.
Cutting up vegetables and running in the rain? Leave the nerds at shore and join me on the Magic Spirit for a 3-hour Halloween cruise. We got DJs dropping hot beats, no tricks, just treats.
That was your BCIT Community Calendar for this week.
Keep on spooking.
Vancouver Canucks are celebrating Diwali Friday as they host the Washington Capitals at Rogers Arena. Popular activities in South Asian culture will be featured, including traditional food, dances, and a Bollywood-style anthem.
The countdown to Halloween is on, and haunted houses are going up all over Metro Vancouver. But beware, as our reporter Mercedes Lay found out, the Anmore Manor is not for the faint of heart.
A man is shaking. Lights start to flicker. The unexpected at every turn.
So welcome to Anmore Manor's dungeon.
This haunted house has been in operation for 8 years. What started out as a fun thing to do with the neighbors has now grown to be an annual charity event for the Schiewe Society Food Bank.
We kind of look back and going, you know, that's kind of a slow time for the Schiewe Society Food Bank for food. It's October, and it really gets cold at that time, and it was just nice. It's always nice to give back.
The Schiewe Society Food Bank provides direct food support to vulnerable people in the Tri-Cities. Donations from the public is what keeps this charity going.
It really is when we get community groups like the Haunted House in Anmore and lots of other local neighbors coming together with these good ideas, be it a food drive or financial donations. It really makes the difference for us.
And making a difference it has. Last year, the manor broke records by collecting about 700 pounds of food and raising over $2,500 for Schiewe. But they are not stopping there.
This is going to trigger. We are in the works with sponsors now, so what we're trying to do is for every dollar we raise, they're going to match. So I think our numbers are going to be jumping dramatically.
The doors will be open from 7 to 10:30 p.m. this weekend as well as on Halloween. A warning that it may be too scary for children 12 and under. I'm Mercedes Lay in Anmore for BCIT Magazine.
If you have any questions regarding the show, you can contact us at bcit-broadcast.com or bcitnews.com.
That was BCIT Magazine. I'm Yasmin Gandham.
And I'm Tiana Mohebi. Thanks for watching. We leave you now with some election highlights.